Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to talk to a leading national expert on blockchain in businesses. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as a reporter of 25 years and then the owner of a PR firm for 14 years, I feel like I have a firm grasp on most subjects. I have to confess, I know nothing about blockchain. And that's why we brought in a leading national expert, Dane Rose. He's with Vision People Project. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, I just hope I don't ask super dumb questions because I'm in way over my head on this subject.
There's no dumb questions in
Let's
this.
start with, what is blockchain?
So blockchain is, if you look at it in the simplest terms, it's software. When you think about public chains, private chains, it's really just a connection of nodes. It's almost like the internet, right? What is the internet? Well, it's software. It's something that you're connecting to. It's servers and nodes, it's computers. Now, to not overcomplicate it, when we look at blockchain in terms of how most people are talking about it in the world stage right now, we're talking about blockchain financial systems. And it's kind of become a buzzword. You know, when people hear blockchain, they think cryptocurrencies, they think Bitcoin. Blockchain technology has been around for a long time. But in 2008, when Bitcoin was created, it started to gain some prominence. And in that time, honestly, all the way through up until you could arguably say 2016, it was like a weird thing. Like people were like, oh, Bitcoin, some people had thousands of them. All of those people who did participate in that time are millionaires or even a billionaire. But you can't look at that and say, well, that's entirely what blockchain is. I would say that's what gave blockchain notoriety. Now, when we look at the world stage, America is actually far behind in their understanding of it, and most Americans are. So when people hear this, they relate it to the cryptocurrencies, they relate it to probably some people they know who have lost everything, or they know somebody who has gained it all. There's really not much of an in-between there. Now,
and you and I were talking before the show that blockchain could change even the election process.
Absolutely. When you look at blockchain, the reason it's such an incredible technology is it's immutable, it's unchanging, it can't be corrupted. And there's caveats to that, right? Because there's public blockchain and there's private blockchain. When it comes to a public blockchain, it's like, you've read the Dr. Seuss book, Horton Hears a Who? Mm-hmm. Well, in that book, there's that entire world on just a dandelion. Well, when we look at a public chain, let's imagine you have an entire world like that on a baseball. Everyone can look at it, you can look in and you can see every facet of it, you can see the buildings, the houses, everything is there, it's unique, it's permanent, it's unchanging. Just like in our world, your house is your house. There could be a house that looks identically like it, there could be a house, that house could be right next to yours, but it's still that house. Just as you're sitting there and I'm sitting here, it's a permanent place, it's a permanent thing, it cannot change. Let's say you took that baseball and when you're representing a public chain, you threw that baseball into space. It's on a track, it's on a trajectory, everyone can look at it, everybody can see it, you can see the different details on that baseball, but nobody can stop that baseball. It's going, it's continuing, right? It's going to continue forever in the vacuum of space. That's essentially what's happening with a blockchain. It's a series of set operations being carried out by software that cannot be interrupted.
Wow. That's powerful. We've got an overview video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Most people participating in the crypto space are losing money. Whether it's from scams, hackers, exit strategies and rug pulls, user errors, and losing trades, the truth is, the $2 trillion crypto market cap is under heavy competition. With 18,000 plus digital currencies and endless amounts of its users competing for monetary gain, it's chaos. The only way to truly protect your assets and attain growth is to know how to navigate this in other larger markets. Introducing Vision People Projects. VPP in its core is an education product built on a DAO with a revolutionary referral system and the world's first growth-only tokenomic. VPP targets its incomes from outside the crypto market cap with our global online education system, EduTech. EduTech is comprised of two parts, a micro and a macro edition. Our micro being your basic fundamental course with snapshot information from the macro, which is our comprehensive self-paced, milestone-driven curriculum. You'll learn skills to make your money work for you and protect your digital assets and incomes. You'll also learn how to identify good and bad projects in the market using our diligence research points system. Learn how to trade in the digital marketplace skillfully and create multiple income streams safely. No more unexpected losses with our effective trade planning and money management modules that will help you keep control and profit from practical positions in the flow of money. The micro and macro course will introduce you to VPP's only element existing within the digital asset space, our cash flow model. Since VPP is a real-world educational platform powered by a blockchain DAO, you can earn while you learn with real-time payments and rewards with full autonomy. With our single-parent and two-child force matrix, you'll get passive earnings in a perpetual decentralized payment system. Fully unlocked 15 layers deep, with each layer up, the earnings are evenly distributed. The DAO withholds a total of 75% of every course bought to distribute 5% equally across 15 layers. A total of 5% is earned for each person anywhere they land in the 15-layer matrix for every new course bought. This means that even if you don't refer anyone, you will still earn your share of the referral anywhere it happens in your network of family, friends, or social media affiliates. You will always have your tangible education course product that will teach you to trade without ever having to be an affiliate while still getting the benefits of others who do. Since a wealth of knowledge is power, here at VPP, we know there's a power in wealth too. When you join us, you get a fair share of both. When you become a seed investor today, you will get a full return on every milestone member mark we hit. If you put $100 in, at 25K members, you'll get $100 back, and every 25K members until we reach 100,000. Totaling your return to $400, a 4 times return on your contribution if all milestones are reached. Our 4K NFT members will get one of 50 top spots in the initial DAO matrix, guaranteeing them the proceeds of level 2 to 15 from all new members that join. The earning potential is unbelievable for early adopters. Be one of the first to join the project as a seed investor today. You can make a direct purchase through crypto or by buying one of our NFT tiers. This is a project for the people to share knowledge and wealth. We need your help to launch this thing. Fuel us up and let's see where we go.
Now, Dane, your business partner is in South Africa, and there's a cool story related to that. Would you share?
Yeah, absolutely. So my business partner, his name is Sean Allen. He's in Stellenbosch, South Africa. And we actually crossed paths in a project in what's called the DeFi space or the Web3 space. And while we were in that, the project was oriented around creating a trading bot that didn't require somebody with any knowledge of this technology to be able to get in and start earning money in that space, which was really cool because our whole goal here is how can we find a bridge to get across that gap with regular people who don't really want to learn all the facets of how blockchain technology works. They can't understand it. You know, I've taken the approach of trying to explain how the technology is broken down to how it was deployed, how to understand it. But think about it this way. Is it easier to explain how the engine works in a car, or is it easier to teach somebody how to drive the car? How to drive the car, right? And so we realized that there's got to be a way to introduce people to this softly in a way that they can easily understand, right? Whenever you explain something complicated to somebody, you have to explain it at like a 3rd grade level. You can't tech talk somebody into it, etc. And I was making promotional materials like the video that you saw there, education videos, PowerPoint slides, YouTube videos. And Sean had seen some of the videos and stuff I was putting together. He saw my goal and he reached out to me And when he first reached out to me, I was like, oh, this guy just want me to do some free work for him. He's like, no, I had this really great idea. I've been pitching it for a couple of years. And I really want to take those videos you're making and I want to give a face to this project. So we got into a conversation, and when we first started, I was really on edge. I was like, hey, let me give you some advice on how to do it, because doing videos and editing like that it takes a lot of work, a lot of sweat labor. And I was like, okay, let me hear what this guy has. And he had a lot of Excel sheets, and he had some documents, and as I was talking with him more, he was an incredibly intelligent individual. And the more I was talking with him and he's showing me these documents, we ended up talking for like 8 hours that night, just over this whole project. And I was like, this is genius. And over the next couple days, continued to show me more and more and more of this project. And I began to see his vision. Now, I'm a tech-minded individual. It was not something that you could explain to most people. You can explain it to almost anybody, especially since it took 3 days of hours and hours and hours of explaining this project to even give me some scope of idea of what it was. But when it finally clicked, I realized what we needed to do. So we started with a logo, we started with a website, we started giving face to it. We created this video, we created some other educational videos about it. And we started to flesh it out and give it something something tangible that people could look at. Because one of the hardest things to do is paint your vision for other people, right? And the best way to do that is through art, is through videos, is through something that they can hold, see, touch, or taste, right? And so we started focusing on those facets. And in doing so, we started to expand and build more on the idea. And as we started to build this out more very early on, we caught the interest of an industry-leading software developer called Sovtech, who we're a client with. And this company is known for making bulletproof software, banking-grade software. They've done the software for Nedbank, Standard Bank, Vodafone, multi-billion-dollar companies. And we knew that anybody can code a blockchain smart contract. But not everybody can make it bulletproof. Not everybody can make it so that somebody would feel safe putting it in, right? Sure. Do you trust a company that has a name behind them like that, or do you trust some random Pakistani dude who's been doing code for 9 years? Right. Right. So we got this credibility, and it just started to snowball from there. And we started to attract people who started to see our vision, which ultimately the goal is if you don't know, if people in your audience don't know, is that South Africa isn't a very wealthy country, and most people there are impoverished heavily. They're under an energy grid. I would call it somewhat of a tyranny, where they have stages of what is called load shedding, where they're completely without power. Their power is completely shut off. It goes in stages from stage 1 to stage 8, where it can be 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 2 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 6 hours off, etc. And that creates a lot of difficulty for people's lives, right? There's days where they can't buy gasoline. And so their country is well known at this point, other than some areas, for impoverished individuals, especially the locals. And so when we came up with the name Vision People Project, Sean had the idea in mind that we would be bringing something to the little guy, that this is a project that is built by people. No enterprise is built by one individual. And so the whole idea is to give credit back to the people who make this possible, right? Sean and I have an idea. Sean and I are painting an image. But what it comes down to is to bring this to a reality is people, right? That's how all things run in this world. And if we don't put the light back on the people, then I think that we're leading our lives and our future into a very dangerous place.
We have a couple minutes left, so I want you to talk about the future. Where do you see this all going?
Well, my goal right now is that what I see encroaching in the near future, especially in the coming 1 to 2 years, is a full introduction of digital currencies. And we've seen this over the last 2 years with pilots all around the world. Europe is now being introduced to one. New Zealand just went into pilot with theirs, and China's been well underway. My hope is that through education and a willingness to adopt this technology, that we can get ahead of the curve and take advantage and take control of our finances and our money systems. because I fear that if we don't come together as people and take the power back for what we have, if we lose control of our money, we lose control of our lives. And if this is being introduced, if this new digital economy is inevitable, I hope that we willingly take it on. We take it by the horns and we do the best thing we can with it, which is make it our own.
That's a great way to end this segment. We're going to leave them with the website, which is visionpeopleproject.com. Dane Rose, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.